Stream Elements said the busy builder is now live, streaming miniatures.
Hello. Come on. Dry faster. Bring up some reference images real quick. They just kind of run these straps wherever they go, which is good. me see that again. Aha. Works for me.
At the model student 20 said student is present and accounted for. Oh.
How's it going? We're just kind of waiting on paint to dry. The base still hasn't dried fully yet. Gonna move this where I can see the edge more clearly too. Just helps me make a better cut. No, I'm just having trouble getting steam up today. It's been snowing all night. And I'm feeling it. Paint the other side real quick.
At the model student 20 said the stinger unit is pretty impressive once done getting a good look at it. Now it's really cool.
I want to get the AFV Club one. Because supposedly it's another new tool Humvee chassis on the market. And it represents the actual, it represents the actual in-service unit. The one that Italeri made is an earlier prototype unit. It's mostly there, but there's some things that are off, especially on the back of the turret unit. So this is what I go through to make tie-down straps. I don't have anything for the ratchet portion, so I just ignore it. I couldn't even find decent files for printing one out. Let's thread you through there. Tweezers. Not those tweezers. Those tweezers. Ah! So today's gonna be kind of a low energy day for me, I guess you could say. Lower than normal. But I think that's fine. We're on day 4 of the build.
At the model student 20 said small things like that are hard to cut supports without wrecking it.
Well, that, and they're just hard to print so they look like what they're supposed to be. Yeah, I noticed that. But the short for last night kind of tanked. I don't know exactly why. And of the views yesterday, I'd like to know how many people kind of stayed through it, you know? It's got 71 views. The first day had 104, which is crazy. Okay, can that... Yeah, I can go through there. But today I'm just going to work on getting this as
At the model, student 20 said shorts are weird
finished
but
as possible. I almost went back across here, kind of like an X configuration, but decided against it. It works like
the
this.
model, student 20 said love those coolers. Lol.
Well, this is actually a leftover part from the ambulance Humvee. I just painted it to look like a cooler. Like I said, I'm trying to stay within the spirit of the build and not use anything terribly modern. So no printed parts, nothing like that. No AK stuff either. So that's another ding. You used AK stuff on your Spitfire. Boo! Alright, I need a life. No, I need random pieces of wire. No,
At the model, student 20 said basic I cheated with filmy resin dials.
here we go. Yep, disqualified. You have been a bad student. By the way, I'm being sarcastic if you didn't know. I don't really care. I'm building mine the way I want to. You build yours the way you want to. The fact that you're having fun is all that matters. And it's more fun without the pretentiousness of must use certain thing with certain thing to get good result. You know, you're just doing what you want to do with it, and that's what counts.
At the model, student 20 said minor filler, though just a bit on the bottom, where the wings met the fuselage.
I think that's almost a given for that kit. I wish I had enough to go back across one more time. Well, I kind of do. I mean, watch.
Stephen Kessel said model on.
Hey, Steven. How you doing? Welcome back.
At the model student 20 said National Sarcastic Society honorary members. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
I'm trying not to sound like an asshole, but you're making it quite difficult. For me right now, it's not about recreating actual latches and buckles. It's more about the look and feel and idea of everything being strapped down. And he always comes in, says model on, and then goes lurky, which is fine. If he's liking and sharing and all that stuff, that helps even more. Yeah, we're gonna go back here again. Because I just want the double wrap on the cooler to go back down to here. I like how that makes it look. It feels better like that. Yeah, the weather changes have really screwed me up today, though. Okay, let's cut this a tad shorter, just so I'm not working with a mile-long section. That's better. And it was also more of a just try and finding a happy in between to kind of the stowage. Like I said, I didn't want to overdo it, but I wanted it to feel like, you know, there's something there. Now more straps to show how these, the folding cots, are also strapped down to the vehicle. I wish I'd thought ahead and made more footman's loops here, but that's alright. Or should I go X pattern? Do that one there and do that one? Yeah, let's do that. So now, we take this, kind of do that with it. Next strap. I wish the groundwork was fully dry. I don't want to do anything to that until it is. It's still kind of damp in the middle. It should be, hopefully be dry by tomorrow. If not, we just wait till Saturday, which is fine. Kind of need a slow down day anyway. I feel like we've lurched forward on this quicker than we should have in some ways. Sometimes a build can do that though. Like, you think you're on a roll with it and you just start not rushing, but you kind of just lose focus and just get lost in it, which is in itself an okay thing. Come on, behave. There. Oh, man. I just hope I can feed some of it under the barbed wire to those. Really, autofocus? You're gonna do that to me today? Come on. Be nice. Of course not. Anywho. Can y'all hear me okay? I know I've been kind of quiet today. We want to buy your property. No, I don't want to sell my property to you. Delete. Sorry, we're waiting on paint to dry. sharp,
At the
not
model student 20
crisp.
said rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
What am I, a packet of ketchup flavored chips to you? Could be worse. It could be bagged milk.
At the model student 20 said ketchup chips are a panic thing lol.
I know. I'd rather have ketchup
Model
chips
student 20 said yeah we still do that too lol.
than like lime and whatever chips. That's ugh.
At the model student 20 said Canada is weird.
Nah, it's just overly polite, America. Marty's Hobby Island. Welcome, welcome. Okay.
At the model student 20 said 1/4 of flavor powder coating each chip squinting face with tongue emoji.
One time I was eating some Doritos,
At the model student
and I just got
1/4 inch I meant.
a chunk. I got a triangular chunk of the cheese flavoring that they used in the Doritos. It was the size of a chip, but it was the chunk of the flavoring. Whoa.
At the model student 20 said that must have been nice.
It was salt. It was all salt. Come on, go in there. Really?
At the model student 20 said your quirks will never deteriorate now though.
No, it wasn't MSG, just salt. Ooh. We got a string of super glue there. That's not good. Stuff's all kicking off too early anyway. No, I wish. I think it was fake salt. I remember back when I had my chinchilla, my wife got it into her head that the chinchilla needed some of that Himalayan salt, because she'd read it somewhere. I'm like, are you daft? She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you know how strict the diet on these things is. Salt will kill it. And sure enough, I told her, Google it real quick. She Googled it, and yeah, the Himalayan salt's deadly to chinchillas. I'm like, are you trying to kill our pet? Needless to say, I threw it out.
At the model student 20 said super glue, one of the veins of my modeling existence.
I think I'm getting it okay. It's just the little strap details like this can actually add to the model in a sense. Because it yeah, I used to have a chinchilla. She passed away a few years ago. She had a good life. We noticed one day she just got lethargic. We took her to the vet. They asked how old she was. We said, we got her from somebody else. We've had her for 8 years, so she's probably around 10. And they're like, yeah, that's ancient for a chinchilla. So she lived a good life. What, can you not see me owning a floof ball like that? I miss my little floof ball.
At the model student 20 said layers of detail allude to activity.
Allude, not elude. It just helps to add a little bit of visual depth. Well, imagine a ground squirrel that likes to parkour off the walls and sit on your feet. Whenever I had her out, she'd just run up, sit on my feet. Every now and again, I'd pick her up and hold her. Then I'd put her down, she'd parkour off the walls, and then come back to my feet. Weirdest damned animal I'd ever had. But fun. We got her for free, though. I'm not about to pay what the market wants for a chinchilla. Might be able to do that.
At the model student 20 said our relationships with animals is so important, I think.
Damn it.
At the model student 20 said I may Dr. Doolittle at heart.
Yeah, I just hope the cat distribution system forgets me for a while, especially after Arnie passes. Now I remember what I was going to do. Be right back. I need rope. I stupidly maxed out the amount I'd need on this. So I'm gonna cut what I can. As long as I'm able to glue that there, yep. Yeah, that's better. So let's cut you here. And back here. That was an oversight on my part.
But the model student 20 said losing them is hard. That lab is looking great, the camo and weathering and mint. Why good?
Aw, she didn't say it right again.
But the model student 20 said WAAY good.
That's a bit closer.
And Almanac has stumbled on the stream. What are we doing?
We're being held up because the groundwork isn't drying. Adding stowage and details to an LAV C2.
The model student 20 said going crazy.
But this is a, what I term back to basics build. No aftermarket, no MiG, no AK, no ammo, no SMS. Just using some pretty basic techniques to show that you can get something that still looks good without breaking the bank. And welcome to the stream. Yeah, yesterday was mud day. And I think I showed pretty effectively how you can do good mud without buying a pre-made bottle of junk. Come on, glue, just stick. Of course not. Alright, now I need to get to pictures so I can see how to properly stow this. It's not too complicated, but it's got kind of an order to it. Not really. Sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. Now there's something I could do with it. Do a loop of it inside the barbed wire, and then have the rest run between the headlights. And I'm just basing what I'm doing on, like, pictures I have. And that one to there. Let me look around a little bit more. Yeah, it looks like looping one end around the headlights was pretty common.
An almanac said high model student.
What do you like working on, Almanacs? First, let's secure the ends so they don't fray.
At the model student 20 said waving hand emoji.
Alright, and then just some sand colored paint to tint it. Actually, I should probably add this after I get it in place. Sorry, I'm thinking. I need to look at more references real quick.
At almanac said I am currently making the harp for Crusher George, old anime, and some Macross Destroyed kits.
I know Crusher Joe.
Model student 20 said we can tell the camera fog's law. At the model student 20 said cool.
The camera fogs? What? I know Crusher Joe and Macross. I was there when it was written. No, no, one of the display cases behind me, one of the shelves is completely Macross. Where did my sanity go? No, all my tie downs, my rings. They should have been here with these, but they are not.
At the model student 20 said you were thinking it fogs the camera from the steam coming off rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Oh, that was a joke at my expense. I get it now.
At Bald Van 7 said hi, I'm back.
Hey, Bald Vance, how you doing? Yeah, today's stream's a bit brainless, I'm afraid. I could wrap this in wire and make it look all official and professional and crap, but I have a feeling that's going to be lost when I coil it up anyway.
At the model student 20 said, hey ball fan 7.
The snowstorm we had.
Fan 7 said, what would you say your favorite model is? Curious design.
What kind of model are we talking about? Figure, armor,
At ball
the
fan
design of the
7,
kit, the design of the plane, you know, the design of the character. I need more specifics, please. Thank you. One that I wish was better but isn't is the old Revell EC135 kit. The way they designed that thing, it's terrible. The Revell Germany kit.
At the model student 20 said, I didn't add anything to my cockpit. It could have taken some wires and
That's what she said.
it's
No.
basic build also. You're never gonna see it once you button it up anyways.
And that's what I'm looking at, like. And it depends on the cockpit too. In 32nd scale, you could have added more. But in 48 scale, especially depending on the airframe, like the F-16, you can throw a resin cockpit in there and you'll notice it because you'll see everything, right?
Ball fan 7 said, Michael. At George Davis 7,000
Hey, George.
29 said, hey all.
As far as vehicles, I don't know. It could be anything really. I mean, obviously I like Humvees, but I'm a bit biased. But just in terms of the vehicle itself, there's a lot of interesting ones out there. You got the German half-tracks from World War II. You've got...
Ball fan 7 said, in terms of detail in the kit itself.
Believe it or not, one that's one of your best bangs for the buck is the old AFV Club Weasel kit. For its size, it's got a hell of a lot of detail.
At the model student 20 said, I have the Macross Y19 and the Super Valkyrie and weapons set. They look like they are nice kits. Should build on up soon.
They are very nice kits. Especially the YF-19.
Said, also, is it possible to get European Revell in America?
Oh yeah, all the Revell kits sold here are Revell Germany now.
Said, hey George.
Because Revell,
Said, just wondering.
as an American company, no longer exists. Revell Germany bought them out. So right now, Revell Germany is selling a lot of the old Revell US kits on the German market and the European market in general. But we've been getting Revell Germany kits here for decades now. It's not been a thing that we didn't do. Just want to thin this out just enough to tint that string up, make it look more like a hemp rope. I'm gonna be hitting it with washes and stuff too, so it'll get dirtier and darker. If I did this beforehand, it would be all over my fingers and getting all over the model when I was trying to loop it.
When I was in America, I went to the German catalog and it took me to the American one.
Because all of the American kits, all the American market kits are the Revell Germany kits. So like the same 32nd scale HE219 you would buy in Germany is the same kit here in the US. It's just not called Revell GmbH over here. It's on the packaging, but that's not what we market it as over here. Heck, I can show you an example. Give me a second. And I just totally got my brush with super glue. Bye, brush. Oh well. That's why I buy the cheap $7 packs. Alright, be right back. So this was a rescue from an American clearance store, which means there's a shop that closed and the clearance store got it. But yeah. Same exact boxing as Revell Germany, but it's sold in the American market. Even the products we can't buy here. I haven't been to Germany since 2010. No, that kit is 32nd scale. But yeah, I haven't been to Germany since 2010. And there's no plans on going back in my future, I'm afraid. You would have to research what theater that particular mark was used in. Sometimes certain marks didn't see certain theaters. I didn't recall what mark your kit was. And YouTube side, let me know if you have any trouble after the YouTube outage yesterday. Things could still be weird. Well, yeah, but as far as restrictions, there's no restrictions here on which kits we sell. Hell, you can even buy a Hasegawa. Yeah, you can buy a Hasegawa Spitfire It could be, depending on what you're typing, Alaminox, so sorry about that. I don't control that, that's YouTube. I'm not seeing anything being withheld. Let me go directly to YouTube real quick. Yeah, you have to choose your wording carefully. Lately.
The Bismarck, that's my dream kit. It's far from my skill level though.
I'm not seeing any messages that haven't come through from you, Alaminox. If they're being censored, they're being withheld from even me seeing them on here. And it could be due to something you're typing. Yeah, I didn't see that message had been sent on the YouTube side. I saw that you had typed 48 scale, but nothing about having those. So. Okay, we're almost done staining rope. Mine are already built. I'm still tempted to get the Max and Miria 48 scale Strike Valkyrie though. Yeah, YouTube's weird like that. But as far as kits, if I was to build the Bismarck, the Revell kit isn't terrible. But unfortunately, it's actually been surpassed by the Trumpeter kit. But ultimately, if I were to do it, it would depend on cost. And right now, I think the Revell kit would be the cheaper one. And I'd have to see what aftermarket's available for it to bring it up to any kind of, you know, standard. Because I know the railings on it are a bit meh. And some things are a little soft and could be made a bit bigger. Or not bigger, but better, sharper.
At the model student 20 said you have built many kits that I have and I'm excited to get to. At Almanac said it's gotten worse, I feel.
It's just the YouTube AI algorithm BS. I don't know. I think we're pretty good on stowage here, guys. What do you think?
At the model student 20 said Focus went for a poop.
My Focus always goes for a poop. Then I have to go poop. You're right. Focus is going for a poop. There it goes. The silvering on the decals I'm really not happy about. Something weird happened there. And we're going to be going for a wet look on this when we're done. But
At the model student 20 said she looks loaded enough for what they're doing.
come on, autofocus.
At the model student 20 said there it is.
So I want to get some more oil washes going just to add
At the model student
some collected grime up top.
window grow.
And then after that, we'll go for the wet effects like on the M60. I think they turned out really well on the M60. I'd like to do them again on this. So, get this palette out of the way. My bespoke plasticized oil retention palette. No. So artist oils from yesterday, still quite usable. They've been sitting out all night. Got a little cat hair in them, a little bit of dust. But we're going to mix up a sandy color. If I can get this open without it popping on me. There we go. So we've already got burnt umber. We got some black. So we're going to throw in a little yellow ochre.
At the model student 20 said Java run back in 2.
I got half a cup of coffee I haven't finished here.
Decal outlines are a bit obvious on this kit.
I know, it's the decals, they're shit, the kit's old. They'll be hidden once I start doing the wet effects. They really didn't pop out until I got the dull coat on. Which means at some point the edge of the decal lifted. So we're just seeing the dull coat through it. They'll go away. One thing you'll learn here is we don't really care too much about perfection, as long as you're having fun building it. There we go. If you want to count rivets, there's this really cool museum in Munster I can recommend. They've got they've got a Sturm Tiger there. They got a whole bunch of good shit there. There's plenty of rivets to count there. Here, we're more about the mood. This over here. So unlike the oils we did yesterday, where we're going to remove some when we're done, in this, if I can get the white to reactivate, good lord, I'm definitely going to need to make a run to this hobby shop and replace some of these 20-year-old oils. A little bit of white, a little bit of ochre. Get a little bit of umber in here. We're going for kind of a grimy sandy color. We're not looking for European earth or Russian.
Almanac said pulls out the ribbon counter card. Guess I'm in the doghouse already.
Just something that looks nice and contrasty and sandy as opposed to the camouflage finish. There we go, get a little bit of more white in there. That looks alright. Thin it out some more. Okay, where do I want this? Let's go around. Let's start around the hatches where they'll be climbing, because this is where their feet are going to be leaving this stuff. Let's Still a little too thick. Get it around some of the weld seams. Around the radiators and periscopes, just any place on top. Then we'll work our way down the sides once we feel we've got this in the bag. And the other point of this build is I've been using a lot of the off-the-shelf stuff by Vallejo. And I'm kind of trying to teach myself the old ways again. Kind of trying to remember the artistry behind it more than the industry behind it. As always, go a lot lighter than you think you need. Especially with the oils. From what I remember, these can show up a lot brighter and clearer than a couple applications of the Vallejo stuff. And if you're worried about stains and rain marks, just wet the surface around it. It'll help spread it out a bit more. But my hope is the oils will do what they're supposed to and leave kind of that just barely visible silty finish on everything.
At the model student 20 said, I'm always amazed you've taken this kid from box to this in like 12 to 13 hours of work, Excelsior.
Yeah, about that. Because yesterday's stream was about 4 hours. The first one was 5, then we had another 3-hour stream, so yeah. It really doesn't take that long, especially if you're not, you know, micromanaging your painting by, you know, painting 2 millimeters at a time with your airbrush. I'm going to get a slightly larger brush for up here. I just want to get some of this dirty thinner in it. Don't want to necessarily touch too much of the actual oils up here. Because the anti-slip coating on top is notorious for grabbing dust and dirt, even if it's rainy. Even I second guess sometimes, and when I find myself getting like that, I just say screw it and throw it all in. Like the first time I tried that wet effect, just using the floor polish, the Pledge. That's all it was. I tested it on a couple things just to make sure my idea was sound. And then once I'd figure out what combination of brushes and application worked for me, I just threw it all in. Because even I've been doing a lot of things I've never really done before. I've read up on it, I've researched it, but I've not actually done it. My hope is with the oils like this that it adds that kind of just that general feeling of filth and grime built up around some of the details. That's not the wash. The black wash was initially meant to pop details, right? So it gives that false shadow. This is meant to be that fine dust and silt that just gets washed onto everything, no matter where you are. Like, after the snow melts off my car today, I could probably go outside, and once it dries, it'll look like this. But yeah, if you're second guessing yourself, just say screw it and go all in. What's the worst that could happen? You have to repaint something? And I understand with kit prices the way they've become lately, people are less likely to want to do that, more hesitant. But sometimes it's fun to just grab onto that bomb, wave your hat in the air, and go woohoo! Anyway, wait, that's Slim Pickens. That's a different thing entirely.
At the model student 20 said I have yet to go to Utah. I have wanted to see it for a while. Maybe someday.
It's got its scenes. You really want a cool place to go? It's actually north of here. It's the site of the world's first nuclear reactors in Idaho. And if you've ever wanted to see a living film set, Wallace, Idaho is a few hours from where I live. And that's where Dante's Peak was filmed. The stuff you want to see in Utah is actually further south from here. Are there things to see around here? Yeah. But the fun stuff's about 3 or 4 hours south of where I live. I'm gonna try something here. Give me 1 second. Since autofocus wants to be, you know, Chucky McFucky today, there, that works. That's starting to pan out pretty well.
Student 20 said people in Canada forget how big and diverse THUS is.
I think most people around the world, even people in America, forget just how big this place is. Like, in the time it takes some people to drive from Scotland to Bournemouth or Poole, I could drive almost to Canada from where I am and be in a completely different biome, like geologically, environmentally, everything. Just like in that same amount of time, my brothers and my father and I went from Holland to Bremen, Germany. Okay, I'm graying this one down a little bit because I want to bring it onto the lower hull. This is the thing I love about the oils. You can go back and really work them in and move them around a little bit. Probably going to pick up some new flat coat when I'm out Friday too, because I think that has a lot to do with how screwed up the finish on this became.
At the model student 20 said YouTube stopping chats.
Why? Does it not like me? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything held, so it's got to be just automatically happening with whatever it is you were typing.
At the model student 20 said
Yeah. Yeah, people in Canada forget how big and diverse the U.S. is. I've yet to go to Utah. Second guessing.
At the model student 20 said nothing bad, just banter.
Certain terms it doesn't like, though, like mother bastard and things like that, I've noticed. So. It's probably just YouTube being YouTube, unfortunately. There's nothing I can do about that. I've got my language settings and all that as low as I can go on it. I wonder if Twitch is having issues, though, because I've noticed a couple people come and going from there that haven't even said anything, which in itself isn't unusual, but you never know sometimes.
Model student 20 said are the Canadians playing US in Olympic hockey, I guess, lol.
That I don't know. I have not been following the Olympics. It's become too politicized. I mean, why don't we take the Olympics back to their roots? Stop all wars, get our best soldiers together, and have them fight each other to the death naked. Making a mess.
At the model student 20 said they're stupid, not like they used to be, no humility, just a bunch of entitled grandstanders.
Except for the Turkish shooter. That guy was awesome. Everybody else is out there bending themselves over backwards, you know, doing all these weird things with these crazy glasses and goggles and monocles for the best shooting position and all that.
Student 20 said I'll watch
And he comes up with his hand in his pocket and just she's actually starting to look kind of how I want her.
The model student 20 said there are some good ones, I'm sure.
A lot of it's going to be toned down when I do the wet, but it's pretty much how I want it. because that's how it's gonna look when it's damp. I should get the M60 out and just do a comparison of how that looks with the Vallejo products doing the same kind of effect, and how this looks with the oils. Just give me 1 second. Do one more thing. Putting a little of the grayish mixture onto the ropes just to tone them down a bit, because they can be that bright, but they very rarely are. That's better. But you can see with the oils, you still have to work in very light layers, just like with the Vallejo stuff, to get it to build up right. Or you could go on too strong. Saw a video yesterday of somebody weathering a barrel, trying to make it look all dusty and fuel stained. They were using some kind of earth effect wash that kind of looked like this, but then they mixed pastels with it. They applied it. It obviously went on too heavy, because then they removed half of it. But again, the entire time I'm sitting there thinking, why are you going that heavy to start with? Why aren't you working up to it instead of down to it? And this is kind of what I mean by working up to it.
I ordered a cheap set of sable brushes from Alley. They are good quality. Seem to be lasting well.
There you go. Sables are always better than nylon. Just adding more around the hatch, since that would be considered a high traffic area. Same as in here. And the overall color doesn't matter as much as the contrast you have when it's in the cracks and grooves and around the details.
The model student 20 said Glory washes are kinda like that, where you slather them on let dry, then remove as much as you want. It works but does seem a bit wasteful.
And that's what I'm trying to get at, is all these techniques that I'm seeing, I think it's done more for the camera. So it has that stupid satisfying effect to watch. Where anyone who's really doing this with more than half a brain cell in their head would be a bit more careful and mindful of what they're doing. Especially when you're paying over $10 a bottle for some of these things. Trying to blend out some of these patches here. Mostly had it. I think that's looking about right. Now, one more thing. I want to do a thin wash of black and umber on some of the stowage. It just doesn't feel like it's popping just right to me.
Model student 20 said the three most valuable words in any language: rinse and repeat, rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
To a degree. There we go. It's gonna pop those wrinkles just a little bit better than what I painted on. It also adds a little bit more definition to the strap.
At the model student 20 said over $600 million in profits from adding those three words to the label best marketing phrase ever conceived.
What was that for? Oh, shampoo. Like, why is that familiar? Oh, did you hear the actor who played Kane in RoboCop 2 and the slasher in Last Action Hero? He passed away today.
At the model student 20 said the light dust is really starting to show now that it's drying awesome effect starting to manifest.
And that's really what I wanted, is just that light dusting. And it's okay if it's a bit strong, because it's going to go away a little more when I do the wetness. Wetness.
At the model student 20 said yes also Dawson freaked me
Mm-hmm.
the other day.
Well, people knew he was fighting something for the past few years. And then, oh, what's his name? Duvall. Robert Duvall passed away yesterday? Day before? Noonan, Tim Noonan, that's the guy's name that passed away today. Or Tom Noonan.
At the model student 20 said mortality sucks rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Yep. Maybe that's why I'm so much on a stop collecting and start building kick with some things, because, like, you can't take it with you. It ain't worth as much as you paid for it. And it's not going to matter once you're gone. If that makes me come across as an asshole, well, I'm proud to be that asshole. I'm also trying to resist using my streaking grime just for one effect, because it does build diesel the best. But I'm just going to use the old method here. nope, I'm not using it.
Or laughing emoji.
I'm using black and burnt umber, more on the black, and right there. That'll dry. And just leave nice, dirty black streaks. Okay. But we're going to pause for a minute. Wow, it's almost 2 hours. It only feels like an hour's gone by. I'm going to take a move around break and get something to drink too. I'll be right back.
At the model student 20 said, have you ever used rust from steel wool and vinegar? I have seen guys do that, don't know if it is worth trying or not.
Alright, I'm back. No, the only rust I really use is rust paint. And if I want like a streaking or a more dried rust effect, I use burnt sienna artist oils. So the next step is going to be making it look wet like that. And then streaky as well, not like an even coat. But you can see how some of the dirt effects collected around things and still pop out. That's what I want to end up with. Gonna have a drink real quick though. I find a lot of people, when they do rust, aren't sure of the type of rust they're trying to replicate. You get that bright orange stuff, ow, when it's fresh, or when it's like, say you've been grinding on something and you've got tons of like filings everywhere. That's when you get the bright orange stuff. Most rust in general is going to be a deeper umber color. Oh, I need a link to the ones that seem like they're full of shit. Let me pause again real quick. Anyway. The ones... Where did my bottle of clear go? There it is. I need that. My fan brush. It's my biggest fan. No. And then a couple other brushes that I can just get to go weird when they're wet.
But the model student 20 said the AK enamel rust was good for the bright rust. It does look really convincing and plays well on the surface.
But that's just it.
George Davis 7629 said don't forget can't have fun without the latest ammo or AK products.
But that's just it. Rust
At the model
doesn't look
student
like
20
that.
said rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
I'm gonna get you a picture of a range wreck that's been sitting out forever. And you tell me if that looks bright orange or if it's just brown. Right? That's a YouTube video. That doesn't work. And you got to remember, this is something that's been set to set fire too. This is like worst case scenario. This is not a tank that's still serviceable sitting out. It won't let me share. Damn it, Bobby! I want the link. Oh, there.
At George Davis
So this is something that's been shot at, set on fire.
while you behind on the chat. At the model student 20 said darker the rust higher iron content I believe. The busy builder sent a link.
So that's some kind of,
At the
you know,
busy
late
builder
war,
4071
been shot, been
sent a link.
penetrated, been burned.
At George Davis 7629 said Fallout 4
Yeah.
will be the end of me doing stuff on this map.
And notice also the welds aren't rusted. And that's a range wreck. Now, if you just want to say a tank that's been sitting out for a while, there's even less rust on them. It's more appealing paint. And by rust, I mean that whole thing is rust, yes. But what you think of when you hear rust and what you do are two different things. You know? There's a difference between rust and corroded metal. Come on, fan brush. Let's see if we can recreate what we did before. Actually, I'm going to start on the bow plane, since this is my flattest area, and it'll give me the best result. Let that dry.
At the model student 20 said fair that I would start with the light rust, then go over with oils and rusty paints personally to try and get to that type of look.
Honestly, for me, I would start with umber, burnt umber, or some kind of deep dark umber color, right?
At George Davis 7629 said, yeah, you seen the FD 4005 restoration.
You know, you start with a dark umber color. Once that's down, you use your liquid mask, because you noticed even on that wreck, sorry, nose is itching like crazy.
7629 said that was one that had been sat outside for 50 years or so.
But even on that wreck, there was a hint of the bronze green paint. So I'd use liquid mask with a sponge, apply the bronze green, and then remove that, right? Remove the mask just to leave the little bit of bronze green left.
I like the fan brush effect a lot.
And then after that, you go back with your washes. That way you have your initial corroded layer that's showing underneath the peeled paint. You have your peeled paint, and then you have all of the other environmental dust and dirt, fresher corrosion, all that stuff going on top of that. Because you got to consider the layer of what happened, you know? The thing I like about the fan brush method here is it deposits uneven amounts. So there's your first pass, right?
20 said, is the original finish on these vehicles powder coat?
Oh, it's paint. It's sprayed on. So you see how that's, you can see the streaks, but it's still pretty flat, pretty satin. Now watch. Keeping it random so it doesn't totally overlap where you've already done it before. That's going to show up shinier and different intensities of the streaks. And right now I'm just concentrating on the sides, because we're going to have to use different brushes to get the tops and other areas looking how I want them. I probably won't go too heavily on the muffler because that would actually dry out pretty quick. What I learned on the M60 is the most you want to go is about 3 coats. Or 3 passes. Yeah, but the original finishes on all these is paint. On American stuff nowadays, It's known as CARC, chemical and radiation coating. And if you sand it, you can actually get cancer. Okay, and then on top of the stowage here. So here's where we switch to our other brush. Now the other key to making a model look wet is you need to give it context. Like if the M60 was on its own, you'd be like, okay, why is it shiny, right? But there's snow on the ground's a little damp, there's frost everywhere. There's snow built up on the vehicle. That gives it context to say, oh, hey, this thing got frozen and it's thawing out. At least that's the idea. I think it works well here. So what does this brush do when it's... And the same thing, you don't want to do it all in one shot. Because even the top would have different variations in how reflective it is when it's wet, especially on flat paint. So I'm just stippling it and stabbing it. And we can come back and revisit it too and make certain areas wetter, certain areas drier. Yeah, so many people are so quick to go to this vehicle visited the Titanic levels of rust on certain things when a lot of it is excessive or completely unnecessary. I've seen people rust Humvees. They're aluminum and fiberglass. Yes, you can get rust on the suspension components. They are steel. The frame is steel. But the body is aluminum and fiberglass. So the base is going to have a little bit of... It's going to have a lot of snow on it, actually, so... We're probably going to make this look a little wetter than the M60, but not by too much. I don't want to lose the streakiness of it. And you're putting this on so thin that if you mess up, just throw some dull coat back on it and start again. am I so itchy today? I gotta shave tonight. Who's down there? Hi, Arnie. Come here, old man. Come here, boy. Come here. Hey, Arnie. Come here. Oh, yeah. Hi, buddy. Sorry, we're taking a cat break. Doesn't happen that the 19-year-old visits us much anymore. Hi. How you doing, old man, huh? You okay? I know you're just doing the rounds, as your old butt lets you. You're a good boy. Yeah. You're stinky. I'm gonna put you down, okay? Here you go, on the ground. Let go of me. Come here. Come on, let go. You gotta trim your claws again. There you go. It's still too wet. I think that's starting to get the look I want. Look a bit more from the top down here. Kind of a build up on top there. We'll probably put some snow along that upper edge, honestly. That step, too. Because of that, where is it? So if we're going to have a lot of snow there, melting away, I want to get a good wet melt line coming off that. Both sides there. So by comparison, that'll show up as extra glossy. Same thing back here too, because I don't know where that snow is going to be when I put it on exactly. Same thing here, just to give that diesel stain. And a lot of this will still tone down as it dries. It'll come down in intensity. It's going fine. How are you? Welcome to the channel. No funny business. And no offense, it's just been on the internet long enough to know that if somebody comes on with a clown name, expect funny business. You're good. Like you said, as long as you don't do anything, you're fine. Okay. That's starting to look suitably damp. Just anything more than 3 passes, you begin to lose the splotchiness, and it starts to look more like it was painted instead of a more natural, like, wet rain effect. That's kind of what we're trying to go for here. I don't think I did as well as I did on the M60 with it.
At Ronald McDonald 8303 said, I'm good thumbs up emoji, I know what you mean. I am autistic, so apologies if I say anything that comes across TGE wrong way.
Well, so is my son, so I know what to look for. That's really the hard part, is getting the streaks to read the eye.
Howdy, Ronald.
I think that's about as good as I'm gonna get it.
At Ronald McDonald 8303 said hello.
Until I add the snow buildup. But I won't do that until we get on with the base. And the base probably won't be till Saturday at the rate it's drying. Possibly tomorrow. I can't be certain.
Ronald McDonald 8303 said, by the way everyone, I'm English. I'm not the real Ronald, I'm just a fan.
English or British?
At the model student 20 said it's A-L-L good. We're autistically artistic grinning face with sweat emoji. At Ronald McDonald 8303 said British technically, but I live in England. At
I don't know, what do you guys think? You think that's starting to read like it's supposed to? Or will it work more when the small snow drifts are built up on it?
At Ronald McDonald 8303 said a lot of English people don't identify as European, but I do.
I know, I've lived there. And a good portion of my audience is from there too. I like how that looks.
At the model student 20 said that's okay on Canadian grinning face with sweat emoji. I think she is definitely looking the part. Nice one.
Trying to add more dense water streaks coming from like just certain features on the hull too.
At the model student 20 said most model builders are in England and Germany, I think.
I don't know, you go on TikTok and it seems like they're all from Thailand. What's funny is I read some of the comments on some of the videos where they're doing that whole real close squibbly wibbly painting, you know, for the modeled effect. And there's people in there just, why do you do that? That's not what real planes look like. It's not even, you know, people are calling them out. They're starting to see the idiocy behind following the masses kind of bullshit. Gonna make this
At the
a
model
little wetter.
student 20 said, yeah, the Asian hobby market is huge.
Because this is the engine deck, so it'll get nice and toasty here, so it'll be either drier or more thawed. And the fact that I'm going to have snow on it, it's going to just be more thawed. There goes my ankle. But today's stream's probably going to be another short one since we're kind of hindered by the groundwork not being ready. And I might have to go shovel. We've got over a foot of snow in the past 2 hours. That last break I went and looked outside. I can't even tell where the hood of my car ends right now. Like, I have a 3-inch cowl induction hood, and the hood is flat with snow. Just a little more dabbly-doo. But if you got any questions on what I'm doing, feel free to ask. Yeah, that toned down the dustiness just right.
At the model student 20 said, whoa, that's a good dump. Just rain here and cold.
Nah, good dump is what I had this morning. Oh, wait. You're talking about the snow. Okay. Oh, forgot around the hatch here.
At the model student 20 asks, what are you doing, dude?
What? Well, you know, I'm close to my 50s. I thought we were discussing bowel movements.
Laughing emoji. At Ronald McDonald 8303 said, haha.
I thought that's what people in their 50s did. They discussed bowel movements all the time. Am I not supposed to be doing that? I'll be 50 in less than 6 months.
At Ronald McDonald 8303 said, it's your screen. It's okay, thumbs up emoji.
I know. One must lead by example, though.
Model student 20 said, being regular becomes a hot topic after 50 apparently. Rolling on the floor.
That's what it seems like to me. You know, I always heard my father talking about it with my brothers and stuff when they got older. I'm like, oh wow, so we go from being kids talking about shit to being adults talking about shit. This is great. I don't want to paint the figure just yet. He's gonna live there for a while. That's feeling about right.
At the model student 20 said, I'm more concerned with the unexpected snap, crackle, and pop.
Oh, I've had the unexpected snap, crackle, and pop since I was in my 20s, so that's no biggie for me. It's when the unexpected pops bring the unexpected pain.
McDonald 8303 said, I often have bad dream about going in public. I always wake up. It's quite annoying. The dreams are not very pleasant, to be honest.
I wish that's all my bad dreams were.
Model student 20 said, very fine work, Mr. Builder, sir.
Who is this Mr. we're discussing? Figured I'd get some fence posts knocked out so I can use them tomorrow. Yeah, just today just feels like an off day, you know. Woke up with the snow going, just not feeling right.
Said, I've had some awful dreams. Some of them can make me very upset. At the model student 20 said, I dream I'm at work, but somehow neglected to wear pants for some reason. Very unsettling, rolling on the floor, laughing emoji.
Oh, I know somebody who has a lot worse dreams than that. But we like Sweden. Do they still have their bikini team? Or were they forced to get rid of it? I think I just aged myself with that comment, but whatever.
At the model student 20 said, I've always been a bit of a show-off rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Keep your pants on. Ooh, excuse me. Woohoo! Stop that. Stop it. This is a fresh blade. I'm trying to not cut myself.
At the model student 20 said, Olympic bikini wearer. I missed that event in the winter game. It must be titillating. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
You don't remember the Swedish bikini team, all from the 80s and 90s?
8303 said, maybe if I was a master pianist I would show off too.
Alright. I think that's enough standard posts for whatever I might need them for.
Ronald McDonald 8303 said, I hate cutting myself.
Okay.
At the model student 20 said, I was busy watching 20 minutes workout back then grinning face with sweat emoji. At Ronald McDonald 8303 asks, is it okay if I leave now? I need to preserve my data?
What? Then there was 1997 or 96. One of those days, one of those years. The cover to Call on Me came out. And boy, did that get shared all over the place.
At Ronald McDonald 8303 said, I'm texting
Oh.
off my phone. It costs money to stream.
You still pay for minutes in the UK? That seems weird. Yeah, it's up to you. I'm probably not going to be on too much longer myself. I limit most of my streams to about 3 hours. And today's gone a little bit meh, so it's probably just going to be a standard 3-hour stream, to be honest. Between the weather, how I'm feeling, and the fact that the groundwork wasn't dry yet,
At George Davis 7629 said later Ronald.
Still glad everybody showed up, at least. I do appreciate that. Actually, before I go cutting any more wood, let's make this gate a bit shorter.
At Ronald McDonald 8303 said I get a bundle. You guys seem nice, thank you.
We try to be nice.
Enjoy your night. At Ronald McDonald
Sometimes I can bite.
8303 said later George.
Model student likes it when I bite like that, though.
At the model student 20 said we're here for ya mate. It is a big part of my weekly stream that is.
I appreciate that. Ow.
At the model student 20 said yes, rolling on the floor laughing emoji. At George Davis 7629 said yep we do. It's not cheap either LMAO. At the model
Well, I remember that was the thing back in the early 2000s most everywhere.
sweat emoji.
But I didn't realize it was still a thing in the UK. That's like paying a TV license still. There's no reason for it. Aside from, you know, the owning companies gouging you, but what I think is funny is when I lived over there, we didn't have to pay the license if we weren't, you know, citizens. We were exempt from it. But every now and again, you'd get some nosy little shit coming by.
Ronald McDonald
You're not paying. Thank you for the follow. You're not paying your TV license. And then I'd tell them, well, I don't have a TV. What? You've got a TV, you got Sky. I'm like, no, I don't have a TV. Look. They'd look in the house. They didn't notice I had a projector on the wall. And let me tell you, some of those after 10 o'clock shows looked really nice on that projector.
At the model student 20 said that license is weird, I always thought.
It's just their way of hiding yet another tax. They say it's to pay for BBC programming. They're making the BBC seem like PBS, when it's just another way of extorting money from you. Okay, I made this gate about as straight as Richard Simmons, but
Said I get ya neither doctor, who or whatnot, but jeez.
oh, most people aren't wanting to pay it because they're like, what is it really paying for now? Most people don't watch TV as they used to. It's fine. It's an old farm gate that's going to be covered in snow, so I don't really care if it's perfect or not. forget Doctor Who. I need more Red Dwarf, dude. Doctor Who can suck it. Doctor Who never gave us the term smeghead. God, I hope somebody found that funny. I don't think it was, but...
At the model student pointing said Red Dwarf was funny.
Red Dwarf didn't have a theme song that made me want to change the channel when I was a kid. I'm sorry, I disliked the Doctor Who theme back then.
At the model student pointing said rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
The earlier versions of it, especially on broadcast TV sound channels, just did not sit well with the ears. Come on, glue. I'll need to get a new tube of glue when I'm out Friday as well. I really should make a list of everything I need to buy, because I know I'm going to forget half of it.
At the model student pointing said YouTube didn't like my CBC comment. I guess I'm in space 1999 theme guy rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Space 1999 was okay. It got really weird there, you know, towards the second season, but it was okay. Okay, so that'll be going there. Yeah, we got enough here to make that work. Wow, a lot of missed calls from people I don't know. Anyway, but I think we're...
Model student pointing said only bespoke model Pro Glue Black Gel concentrate 36.95 ppm for work really.
Yes, I need the flexible black super glue with the night shift only miracle debonder that I can use with a brush and clean it up. I've never seen anybody else, even myself, be able to use debonder that effectively on super glue. I've only seen it rinse off for him. So I'd really like to know which one he uses.
At the model student pointing said rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
The rest of us are just peasants, you know. But I think we're going to call it for today. I know it's a bit shorter. Not by too much, but it's a bit shorter. I want to do some rearranging and really thorough cleaning up in here. I need to do some vacuuming, get rid of some boxes and stuff like that. My room's not a wreck, you know. We're not talking Asmongold level wreck, but
At the model
makes me feel
student
uncomfy.
pointing said, don't forget the bespoke glue applicator.
What, this one?
Rolling on the floor
This
laughing
one?
emoji.
This one? But yeah, I just need to do some cleaning ups. The storm's got me in kind of a what's the word I'm looking for?
At the model student
Cabin
pointing
fever
said,
state.
"Great stream
Yeah.
CYA soon."
But we did get some stuff done. We got the dirty wash done. The rain, not, I don't want to say rain, but definitely the wet effect done. Add some snow to some spots, and that'll really start selling it a bit, I think. But yeah, it was fun. We're getting it done. So yeah, I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Friday I will not be on, but then Saturday and Sunday I will. And tomorrow, looking at how the base is drying, yeah, tomorrow should be base day. Because we still got a lot of damp right here. Of course you can't see it. So one moment. Okay, yeah, you can kind of see it now. But we got a lot of damp right here and right through here. Once that's gone, we should be okay. I did run a wheel over it from another kit to give some tire tracks. Then I pressed the model into it just to make sure everything sits level. I'll work out the gravel and grit and stuff like that.
George Davis 7629 said it doesn't rinse off. It takes some effort to get off even with the blender.
I know. But just when you see Night Shift doing it, it's like done. It's like, how the hell? Oh, I'm not shoveling until it's done snowing, because there's always a good chance that the temperature will go up and it'll all melt, which does happen frequently this time of year. But yeah, I'll catch you all later. See you tomorrow.